The scene opens this evening after Edwin's sister has left for a little bit to procure some cleaning supplies and purchase two sets of new clothes after the scuffle and terrifying events which followed a feeding gone wrong. Edwin takes Jessica's advice and begins with a small spot on the carpet in front of the footstool that he usually sets his laptop on. He turns the footstool back on its feet, picks up his laptop, which fell to the floor when his frenzied sibling rushed out of the bathroom into her bedroom. He takes a moment to look at his laptop and to look at the cooling pad it was sitting on. The casing is a little scuffed, but luckily not cracked. He sets his laptop back down on the cooling pad on the footstool, and he turns it on. It starts up. He goes through an extra menu because of an improper shutdown. As he thinks, I'll have to fix the software or whatever, any software problems later. By the time he walks back into the living room, the kitchen, with some cleaning supplies, a scrub brush, a small towel, and a bucket. His computer is fully started up, fully loaded. He puts some music on via his Windows media player. Keeps the volume moderate, not too loud, and begins setting to work scrubbing using a concoction of baking soda and vinegar. He doesn't try to scrub as if rubbing something in further to the carpet. No. He uses a light abrasive stroke, like he was told. He spends some time at this, reflecting on the events that led to one ill turn into another. He keeps the welling of blood from his eyes. Nonetheless, even though he doesn't feel entirely terrible, there's still a bit of sadness, a bit of shakenness in his soul. An unconscious realization of something missing doesn't occur to him fully. Just an odd feeling of something amiss. After some time, he goes into the bathroom. First, he carefully walks over with his shod feet over the broken shards of mirror to pick up the bent shower curtain rod and shower curtain, which he pulls out of the bathroom to make it easier to clean. He sets that in the living room so that he can see if he can salvage the curtain itself. When he goes back in, he starts from the doorway with a small hand broom, a dustpan, and a small trash can, which was seated next to the counter sink. As he begins sweeping on his hands and knees from the doorway inward, trying to be thorough, trying to get that smallest piece of glass. He notices something out of the corner of his eye reflecting in one of the shards of mirror, laying face up on the floor. He sticks his tongue out just momentarily, but not consciously. No. Subconsciously, it flicks from his mouth, and he notices a split. Not normal, though. His tongue, as he investigates further, is more slender, a little less human. The split is not simply separated. It's not simply a separation. It's like slender points that have morphed. He tries to recall what could have caused this. He thinks as he sweeps more and more, keeping that one shard of mirror. To the side on the floor, occasionally looking back into it. Could it be from what happened? Could it be a result of my loss of control? He continues to think on this a little bit more as he sweeps up more and more glass off the floor. He looks up at where the vanity was, seeing it smashed, bent, contorted, and barely hanging on the wall. That's the next step, to pull it down. He comes to a realization, something he was told, perhaps briefly, a result of his frenzy. He thinks back to the reaction that his sister had, the action taken, the anger, the rage that led her to throw him against the wall, the action that broke the vanity mirror and sent shards of glass along the floor. And he thinks back to the memories that still are fresh in his mind from the thrill of the hunt and the inevitable kill. He pulls his tongue back in, closing his mouth, and is drawn to the red glare in another shard of mirrored glass just before he sweeps it up with his own eyes. Something else to conceal. He He can't hold back at this moment. The welling of a single drop of blood runs from his eyes, or runs from his eye down his cheek. It drips on the floor on another piece of mirrored glass just before he sweeps it up. He reaches for a small bit of toilet paper and wipes his face off. A tear not for the men he killed, but for a reason that he himself doesn't fully understand. Even with all his knowledge, with all the things that Daisy taught him before she allowed him the freedom to come and go when he pleases. Something that may, well, if things go a little bit more in his favor, may be revealed to him at a later date. He cleans his face off a little bit more, taking a slight break in his sweeping, and flushing a small piece of toilet paper down the toilet. And continues his efforts to clean. Once the glass is swept up, he'll need to pull the vanity down, place that into a large garbage bag, and begin on the bathtub, cleaning the blood and getting the stains out of the tub. The music playing on his laptop in the living room changes to something a little bit more upbeat, a repetitive begins to be heard. He feels a little less sadness, just a little bit, and a lot more pep as he continues cleaning so that he can hopefully have, well, at least the immediate effect of normalcy return to the apartment he shares. The scene ends as he continues cleaning, pulling off the vanity from the wall, placing it into a garbage bag, and he begins to mop and scrub the shower to get it clean of blood.